Once upon a time, in a cozy little cottage nestled at the edge of a vast, whispering forest, lived a boy named Leo who was far too busy for adventures. His days were filled with important things, like polishing his impressive rock collection and making sure his books were arranged on the shelf in strict alphabetical order. One sunny afternoon, a tiny, shimmering creature with wings like stained glass and hair the color of dandelion fuzz zipped through his open window, leaving a trail of sparkling dust that smelled of honey and rain. "No time for fairies," Leo mumbled, not even looking up from his sorting. The fairy, whose name was Pip, huffed and flew right onto the page of his book. "But the Glimmerwood is losing its light," she pleaded, her tiny voice a frantic chime. "The Moonblossom, the flower that gives us our glow, hasn't bloomed, and without it all the colors will fade to gray. We need someone with a heart that can still wonder, and you're the only one nearby." Leo stared at the frantic, glittering speck on his page, and for the first time in a long while, a tiny flicker of something that wasn't scheduling or organizing sparked inside him. He sighed, carefully placed a bookmark to save his spot, and nodded. Pip sipped with joy, and as she touched his finger, Leo felt a sudden dizzying shrink, and the world around him exploded into a forest of giant, whispering blades of grass. Their journey through the Glimmerwood was nothing like Leo's orderly world. They tiptoed past a grumbling family of sleep-talking badgers, their snores rumbling like tiny earthquakes. They crossed a gurgling stream on the back of a patient turtle who offered them a ride and a piece of mossy advice. Pip showed him how to read the ancient symbols on tree bark and how to ask a busy spider for directions without disturbing her web. Finally, they reached the heart of the forest, a quiet, moonlit glade where the single moonblossom stood, its petals clamped tightly shut. All around it, the other flowers and mushrooms were faded, their colors washed away like an old painting. Leo knelt down, expecting to find a problem to solve, a lever to pull, a button to push. But there was nothing. Just the stubborn, closed flower. He sat there for a long moment, feeling the cool moss beneath his knees and listening to the anxious whispers of the forest creatures. Then, instead of trying to fix it, he simply began to talk. He told the flower about his rock collection and how he'd found a piece of quartz that looked like a tiny, captured star. He told it about his books and the brave knights and clever inventors he'd met in their pages. He talked until his voice grew soft and slow, lulled by the peace of the glade. He spoke of nothing important, really, just the small, quiet wonders of his own small, quiet world. And as he spoke, a slow, gentle change began. A soft, silver light started to glow from deep within the moonblossom, pulsing in time with the rhythm of his calm and steady voice. Petal by petal, the magnificent flower unfurled, casting a radiant moonlit beam that washed over the glade. In an instant, the colors rushed back, more vivid and brilliant than ever before, as if the whole forest sighed in relief. Leo woke with a start, back in his own bed, the morning sun warming his face. For a moment, he thought it had all been a wonderfully strange dream. But there, on his pillow, lay a single, perfect petal, glowing with a soft inner light. And right beside it was a tiny, perfectly round, shimmering pebble he hadn't noticed before, a piece of the path from the Glimmerwood. Leo smiled, a real wide smile that reached his eyes. He carefully placed the petal and the pebble on his bookshelf. Not in any particular order, but right in the center where he could see them every day. From then on, his room was still tidy and his rocks were still polished. But now he often left his window open, just a crack, just in case a friend with dandelion hair and stained glass wings might stop by for another chat, and another adventure into the big, wonderful, and wonderfully messy world that lay just beyond his door. And so, Leo learned that the most magical thing in the world wasn't found in organizing or planning, but in taking the time to share the simple wonders of his heart, because sometimes the greatest adventures begin not with a map, but with a story. And the bravest thing you can do is to pause, listen, and let your own light shine for others.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and check out our other stories.